Hi, my name is Lyubov Azria and I'm Chief Creative Officer for BCBG Max Azria Group.
Hi, my name is Paul McDonald and I'm Senior Brand Manager in Social Media for BCBG Max Azria Group.
And today we'll be covering all the wonderful trends for fall 2012, right?
Yes. So first we're going to start with the design principles. Can you tell us about them?
So the design principles. So the design principles are something that we as designers live by. Nothing is created without those principles being a priority or sort of being a part of it. So basically, if we design a beautiful dress, it always has to have BCBG taste level, which is our own aesthetic. Number two, it has to be luxurious.
Yes.
Because luxury is important, which means that it has to look more luxurious than the price point.
And then dressed up, which you are every day in Luba's look of the day.
Yes, dressed up is so important because when you're actually going shopping, you do want to buy something that can take you from day to evening.
The next principle is sexy.
Yes. Well, sexy is so important because we always want our woman to feel confident, strong, and powerful. So sexy is very important. We do it, whether it's in dresses or in tops or just in just plain t-shirt. It's so important for us.
And then the next principle is eclectic and vintage.
All our inspiration comes from vintage garments, and eclectic meaning that it has different references. And I love the idea that we always take things from the past and bring it forward to the future. That takes us to the next principle, which is attention to detail, right?
Yes.
So everything in our garments, we pay so much attention to the front seams inside of the dresses, to the cuff detail, to the way the collar is finished, to the hidden placket, everything. And the last one is balance between masculine and feminine. The whole idea of wearing, I love the idea of a woman wearing a men's pant and a feminine blouse, and the juxtaposition of both of them really creates a contemporary look. So the idea of masculine and feminine balance is one of our key principles for design.
How is the seasonal message reflected in the collection?
Well, seasonal message this year is a portrait of a woman, which really talks about the strength and the power of a woman. So this season, we really wanted to focus on the suiting and suiting dresses. So it's really about suiting and shift dresses. Also going from desk to dinner is very, very important. So I feel like this season she's a little bit more mature and we really edited the pieces for her so they fit her lifestyle.
The first three trends are really all about color. So if you have a client that's looking for color, she's gonna love these trends. The first one is bold impression.
I think it's really important to make a statement in head to toe suiting. And then what we do is the soft woven part, which is the shirting, would be in the complementary colors.
And where would she be going in this statement, all colored suiting?
Well, we imagine her going to the office. If she has a very corporate kind of environment, I think it's really making a statement. I would love to see a lawyer in a red suit with a hot pink blouse coming in and making her statement to the judge. I think it's really powerful and I think it's very sexy. So I see there both at corporate, kind of jobs, but also I see it in the more laid back as well. I think in the movie industry, a lot of women want to make a great impression. You don't have to be in quite corporate environment.
And how would she transition this look from the day to the evening?
Oh, this is very easy. So when you're wearing such a beautiful color, I think one of the things you can do is jewelry pieces, whether it's a great necklace or sometimes even an evening bag, or sometimes it's really taking the shirt off and just buttoning your jacket. I think it's all about making a statement in color for this particular trend.
And then our next trend within color is thinking outside the block, which is really all about color blocking.
It's very much about color blocking, whether you're doing it in dresses or whether you're doing it in separates. And again, color blocking creates dimension, which is so important in clothes.
How would this look go from day to evening?
Well, this look is really great. Again, taking off the jacket, or leaving the jacket on. For example, for dresses, I think, again, accessories like jewelry. We have this amazing bag, which is in color, which I absolutely love, and I think it also is a fun item to color block your outfit.
And then who would you say the customer is for this?
I think very much this trend is created for a working woman who is usually more of a tailored, relaxed, even though this could be a corporate environment, but I think she's a little bit more casual. This particular trend takes you from not only from desk to dinner, but also to the evening.
And then our next trend that's within color is ladies who launch.
Yes.
Now, tell us a little bit about this one.
Well, ladies who launch, so this is really interesting. This is all about lace for day, or from, you know, to kind of brunch and actually cocktail party too. And that's what I love about lace for day, but not only lace for day, but also in color, which is so fantastic. I mean, you have yellows, blues, greens, navies. I mean, it's exciting and it's fun and it's kind of breaking all the rules.
And this trend definitely seems like more of a day kind of trend without going to brunch. How would this transition into evening?
Well, I think taking it from day to evening, I think again with accessories. I love layering colored lace with colored jackets.
So our next 3 trends really focus around the black and white color story. And those 3 trends are clear cut, edge of innocence, and the new muse.
Yes.
Can you tell us about clear cut?
Yes, well the clear cut, what's great about this particular trend, clear cut, which I personally love, is it's all about black and white and the way you mix black and white. So one of the things that I love is that you have separates that have black and white already in it. For example, one of my favorite pieces is a tuxedo shirt that has a black already bit on it, and it's so chic and it's elegant. I also think nothing is better than a white, beautiful blouse with a black trousers or a black slim skirt. The other thing about this trend is you also have stripes. We have some bold stripes in it. We also have, you know, more color blocking, which includes black and white or black and white prints. So it's a very strong trend. It's also very classic, and you can wear it anytime, and it appeals to every customer's lifestyle. So it's fantastic.
So where is she going?
Well, in this trend, she can go anywhere, from the corporate environment to, you know, a cocktail party. So for black and white trend, we have some beautiful, again, classic black bags that are really a staple for anyone, you know, in your wardrobe. And I also think we have some gorgeous shoes. We also have metallics, which I think is a great way to, you know, sort of make it personalize your own black and white look.
Definitely. And then moving into our next trend, which is edge of innocence.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, the edge of innocence, not only do we do lace in color, this is also lace in black and white, which is a little bit more traditional, classic. But what we did with it, which was so smart, is we made it a little bit edgier and rock and roll. So what I love about this particular trend and why we're making it a trend, because we think it's very important to get into this perfect black dress, but it has lace pieces and lace inserts, and it kind of takes you more to the night out trend versus making it more of a day trend. So this is more of a sexier, more confident. It's a really strong, I think, trend for us. The consumer that would wear this is a little bit more urban rock and socialite and visionary, you know, because it's all about how you wear it. Like, for example, you ask about accessories, this is about the perfect booty, or that, you know, a perfect like little rock and roll clutch, and I think it's the chain necklace. So it's the pieces that are a little bit edgier, cooler, and rock and roll.
For Edge of Innocence, can you tell us where is she going?
Okay, so for Edge of Innocence, what I love is, for this particular trend, is she's a little bit more night out. So she's going to, I wouldn't say so much club, but she's going to an event where it's, you know, after dark. So I think it's a little bit edgier, cooler. I think it's more of a personality kind of dressing.
So our next trend is the new muse. Can you tell us a little bit about this one?
Well, this is one of my favorite trends, and this trend is all about optical prints. You know, we looked at all the different prints and what's trending, and one of the things that we realized is the photo prints are very important. They're making a very important statement, and so we kind of took 3 photo prints. One of them is this beautiful photo floral, which is absolutely gorgeous, and it's dimensional. The second one is, both of them are very picturesque, kind of black and white photos, and so we started playing with them. And in terms of where she's going to the gallery opening. I think she's probably going to be the art piece.
Yes.
I think it's great for dinner, absolutely. And I think just making a statement. To me, this girl is not afraid to be strong, confident, and beautiful.
And then how does she transition that look?
Well, I think again, because it's such a powerful statement that we're introducing, where it's a print on print, I think just simple, like a black jacket or simple pieces that can transition and make it a little bit less bold, I would say, but also great jewelry. You know, I think with this trend, I think it's not so much about necklaces, but it's about the right bracelet, or it's maybe the right shoe or the right bag. So it's really kind of calming the prints down versus, you know, adding more to it.
So our next 4 trends are for the girl who loves neutrals. Can you tell us a little bit about the first one, Force of Nature?
Well, the Force of Nature, this trend to me is really fun because last year for fall we did all animal print, and that was such a successful trend. So this year we didn't want to continue with the animal print. What we wanted to go is more into the woods. You know, I kind of call it the nymph, the wooden nymph. But we wanted to go into the woods. So we took our inspiration from feathers and wood grain and different textures in the wood. So in this trend, it's wearing the feather print with the feather print, you know, and also the feather prints come in 2 different sizes, or wearing wood grain with feathers, you know, or wearing it with a textured stripe. It is such a great trend.
So because every time she wears it, she's making a statement.
Yeah.
Where is she going?
Well, she's going to meet, this is again from desk to dinner. So I think she's in the art world, or she's traveling a lot, or she's in the music industry, and it's just making that statement her own is so great.
Which accessories are best to pair with this trend?
Well, I think the accessories, again, that depends for day. You know, we have a lot of wooden rings and gold. I mean, this season gold is so important.
And with that said, that takes us to our next trend, which is power play.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about power play.
Well, power play is all about work dresses, you know, and whether they're done in, you know, our ZBA, which is our signature crepe, or they're done in double face, which is color block, or they're done in sweater textures, or in this wonderful jacquard. It's all about having the perfect piece to the office and then to dinner. So it's really great.
All right, so tell us, how do we take this trend from day to evening?
Well, I think one of the great things about this trend, because it's neutrals, we have so many different textures. Like, I'm loving all of those ship dresses to be worn with leather jackets or some of our great textural outerwear. You know, I think it gives it that toughness and coolness, and it's much more, to me, elevated.
All right, and then that takes us to our next trend, which is global influence.
Yes.
Can you tell us about global influence?
Well, global influence, I would say it's probably my favorite trend, because it kind of has the Eastern European influence in it. Actually, the print was taken from 1920s kind of a swatch that we found. And so in this particular print, what we did is we did a few pieces like really slouchy pants and a tunic dress, and I love it because it captures a little bit more of a urban kind of rock and roll customer, you know, or that little bit more of a visionary and urban rock feel to me. Especially, I love the accessories that work with it, which is the French belt and all the cool bracelets. I think it's very forward and it's very cool.
And where would you say she's going?
Well, this one, I think that if she has a casual kind of working environment, she can wear it to work. But to me, I think it's more like a night out and having cool, it's a weekend hanging out. I think it's a very kind of indie mood.
And can this trend work with other, like, because of the prints, could it work with other pieces?
Of course, of course. I mean, you can mix it with brights. I think it works very well. I think leather is really great to wear with it, but it does, it works throughout. You know, we see so much events, music events going on. So really this trend was for that person that's really into music and having fun. So that the way they mix it is great. I mean, you can wear it with so many different things.
All right, and then now take us to our next trend, which is chic illumination.
Yes, okay, this is one of the most elegant trends, I think. And this is all about tonal dressing for black tie events, or sort of more of your grander events in your life. So this is all about sequin and shine, or color blocking, or just a satin fabric. I think the beauty of this is just the colors, like champagnes and creams, and the way you wear it, so everything shimmers and stands out. So it's really elegant, beautiful, and I think it's a very classic trend.
And then let's talk about the accessories, because we have so many amazing accessories that would probably pair perfectly with this. Can you tell us about some of them?
Well, we have some beautiful necklaces that would work excellent with it because of the shading. You know, the neutrals work really well with golds. I also think we have gorgeous clutches this season. Our envelope clutch, of course, would work amazing. Some really beautiful shoes, pumps, sandals. So I think this is really, because it's more of an evening kind of a trend, I think you should stay within the evening.
And then that takes us to another big focus for fall, which is sweaters and leggings. What can you tell us about what we do with sweaters and leggings?
So one of the things we did differently this season is that we have a lot of beautiful sweaters, but the sweaters actually work very well with leggings. So we actually kind of pair them together pretty much. So if you're wearing like a leather legging, you know, there's a sweater that's long enough to cover the behind and give you the look. So the proportions are right this season. So versus just giving you sweaters and figuring out how the customer will style it, we want to make sure that it is a focus. So sweaters and leggings together.
So what accessories will we see in the collection, or rather, which ones are you most passionate about?
I'm most passionate about our handbags this season, and because we have this amazing bag, and Speedy is an important shape, it's from the 70s, and it's really, really cool. And what I love about it is that our buyers really took a chance and bought all of the colors, which is fantastic. The other thing that we're doing is, that I'm also very excited about, is the envelope clutches, but they're mini now. So that they're not the larger size, and they're so much fun because you can just put a lipstick and a phone and put it in your bag. So they're kind of like fun gift giving, and they're fun sort of accessories. So we have lots of envelope clutches. They're coming in both in colors and different things. So I think color and accessories to me is the most exciting.
Tell us a little bit about belts. Like, what type of new belts will we have coming in this season?
Well, we have an array of belts. You know, one of the things that comes sort of effortless for us is belts, whether they're French or whether they're the signature buckle. Most of the belts this season is on the waist. They're not so many hip, because we do like to emphasize the whole hourglass silhouette. We also have bustier belts, which are my favorite because I always like to be cinched in.
Next, let's talk about something that I know every woman that I've talked to has always been just raving about: our jewelry. What new jewelry pieces will we be seeing this season?
Well, we have amazing statement necklaces this season, and again, they're new, they're exciting. You're also going to get some great bestsellers. They're slightly reworked, but we have amazing statement necklaces and bracelets. We're bringing in a little bit more fringe, which I think is exciting. You know, again, our signature hardware, studs. There's a little bit more rock and roll in the jewelry, which I like. Yeah, always. You know, it's cool. You know, you have to live. You create. You know, in life you don't find yourself. You create yourself. So be the person you always wanted to be the person that you dream to be, and really enjoy, live your life to the fullest, and have fun.